So our final video for Bio1005 animal evolution is going to cover primates through humans or homo sapiens. So to put it in context, we're going to start with primates here. So primates probably evolved from insect-eating mammals during the late Cretaceous period. Early primates probably lived in trees. They were small. And because they lived in trees, they probably had characteristics like limber joint, shoulder joints, not probably, they did have these characteristics. Limber shoulder joints, eyes in front of the face, excellent hand-eye coordination, and extensive parental care. So if we look at the evolutionary tree of humans and other apes, monkeys, you can see there are three main groups. We've got the monkeys, we've got the hominoids, and all of these guys are called anthropoids. And then if you include these two, these are all primates. I want to emphasize that these are all branches on the evolutionary tree. It's not the march to the master species, and we did not evolve from any of the species that are currently on the planet. We all had a common ancestor about 60 million years ago. So the first group of primates include the lorises, the pottos, the lemurs. If you've watched the cartoon Madagascar, probably seen some of these guys. Tarsiers formed the second group of primates. These were once widespread. Now they are only found on Southeast Asian islands. And because of the booming human populations, they are very much threatened because of habitat destruction. And if you just look how cool these guys look, you can see how George Lucas came up with some of the creatures for Star Wars, and maybe even the guy that says "my precious" in The Lord of the Rings. Third group, we're looking at anthropoids. These include the monkeys. We've got New World monkeys, Old World monkeys. This Old World, New World business is because the European guys named them. So Old World to a European guy is going to be Europe, Asia, Africa. The New World included South America, North America. Apes, the closest relatives to humans. These are the ones that are on the planet now, include gibbons, orangutans, chimpanzees, and gorillas. And of course we have humans, and it looks like a human dressed up like a gorilla. So humans and apes have shared a common ancestry for all but the last 5 to 7 million years. If you're interested in the study of human evolution, this is called paleoanthropology. I want to make it really clear that our ancestors were not chimpanzees or any of the other modern apes. So when I have on the exam in multiple choice, I'll have find the false statement or find the true statement. I will be using this in one of those cases. If I say humans evolved from chimpanzees, that is going to be a false statement. Chimpanzees and humans are two divergent branches of the anthropoid tree. Human evolution is not a ladder with a series of steps leading to Homo sapiens. It's more like a multi-branched bush. So we're finally getting to questions on our study guide. If you look at the chapter 15, page 4 of the study guide on human evolution, it says, does human evolution resemble a long ladder of ancestors to reach modern man? Or does it reach a bush of hominids that lived and became extinct? We are looking for a bush of hominids. It's not the march to the master species. Okay, we are a bush of hominids that lived and became extinct. We're now going to look at the fourth question on that page 4. Which came first, walking upright or a big brain? So let's look at that. So before even we had the genus Homo, there were several hominid species. One of the most famous was found in Ethiopia in 1974, called Australopithecus afarensis. Because the scientists that discovered this fossil in 1974, they were listening to their boom boxes back then, and they were listening to the Beatles song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So they named this famous fossil Lucy. So you may have heard about Lucy. Let's talk about her. Lucy, almost a complete skeleton was found. It is 4 million years old, and beside the fossils, there were fossilized footprints, which look like an adult, probably a parent, and a youngster walking side by side. There are no handprints like you would think like a gorilla walks with both its hands and its feet. So these guys are only walking upright, which makes us believe that they were walking upright at that time. So on your study guide, it says, where did Lucy originate? How old are her fossils? And then which came first, walking upright or a big brain? So right here, we have walking upright 4 million years ago. So let's keep that in mind. And then if we look, I'm going to go back, sorry. So we're going to talk about where did Lucy come from. If you remember, she was found in Ethiopia. I would also accept Africa, but Ethiopia is a country in Africa. So where did she originate? Ethiopia. How old are her fossils? 4 million years old. Okay, so walking upright is 4 million years ago. Now let's look at, they have found other skeletons since that 1974 huge find that are even older, 4.4 million years old. And we've got Ardipithecus. I'll show you what they think Ardipithecus looked like. These links might not be completely up to date, but this is showing you how there have been a huge amount of different fossils found that are 7 million years old that are hominoids, but they weren't necessarily our ancestors. Here's another example of that. This is Ardipithecus ramidus, 4.4 million years old. Also found in Ethiopia. One thing I want to point out is how cool are those feet? I mean, we would have to redesign all of our shoes, but think of all the things you could grab with your feet if you had like a thumb on your foot. I think that's really cool. But more examples of how old these various skulls that they have found are. Then we get to Homo habilis. So we're starting to talk about the genus Homo. We're not at Homo sapiens yet, though. So we've got Homo habilis is the handyman. He had a larger brain. So this guy was found 2 million years ago. So if you go to the question that says, which came first, walking upright or a big brain? Walking upright is 4 million years ago. The big brain is 2 million years ago. So it took 2 million years to get a big brain after we were walking upright. So the first thing that happened was walking upright. Oh, and the reason he's called handyman is because stone tools are found with his fossils. Then we have Homo erectus. This is the first one who started to spread across outside of Africa. So he started to started to walk around. So we've got the global dispersal 1.8 million years ago. Homo erectus is going to be taller than Homo habilis, had even a larger brain. Homo erectus gave rise to the Neanderthals, who ended up in areas of Europe. The oldest known fossils of our own species, Homo sapiens, were discovered in Ethiopia, which is a country in Africa, date from about 160 to 195,000 years ago. So this is the last question on your study guide. How old are the oldest Homo sapien fossils? You can pick a number in between there, 180,000 years ago. Where are they located? Ethiopia. I would also accept Africa. So I love this fact because take that, white supremacists. We all came out of Africa. You have completed your study guide now, but here is a little bit more information. If you look at DNA studies, Europeans, Asians, and then Africans, you can see that Europeans and Asians share a common ancestor. Many African lineages represent earlier branches. The way that they do this, they're looking at mitochondrial DNA to follow the female line, which is mitochondria comes from the egg of your mother. And then the Y chromosome is the male chromosome, so they can look specifically at the Y chromosome and the mitochondrial DNA to follow the mother and the father's lines. Fossil evidence suggests that there were several waves of people moving out of Africa, and then going into the cultural evolution. So primate brain is going to continue to grow after birth. The longest period of growth is actually humans, and it can be until you're age 26 that your brain is still continuing to grow. Parents spend longer time with children, and then we start to develop culture. So if you're taking like an anthropology class right now, this could lead into or tie in with that anthropology class. Culture is defined as the social transmission of accumulated knowledge over generations. There's three major stages. First, we have nomads who are hunter-gatherers. They made tools, they created art, but pretty much their days were really consumed with finding food. Okay, it's like all day long you're just looking for food. Next, we have the development of agriculture. This is very important because now every single person does not have to spend their entire day looking for food. You can start to get specialization within a group of people. You can say, okay, you're going to be the farmer. You're going to be the guy who tames the animals. Now, this group of people, if you're making enough food, they can start to develop pottery, or they can start to develop basketry, or, you get more things if you're not, every human is spending 24/7 looking for food. The third cultural evolution is going to be the Industrial Revolution, where we made things faster. We made way more things. We made things faster. The downfall to this is going to be pollution, but you also have, you've got clothing for everybody. You're distributing food faster to everybody, so you can get even more specialization. Homo sapiens has really been a force on the planet. Our next unit is going to be on ecology, and we're going to find out how much humans are changing the world. Sometimes changing the world faster than other species can adapt. So a little factoid here that's kind of depressing. The rate of extinction in the 20th century was 50 times greater than the average for the past 100,000 years. So more things are going extinct because of how we are changing things. A big part of that is because of habitat loss. Mainly a result of habitat destruction, and our exploding human population threatens many of Earth's ecosystems, if not all of Earth's ecosystems. We'll also look at climate change in our final unit. So, thank you for listening.